Hey, I love having art in the house. It can be very stylish, but you know, it doesn't have to be expensive. You know, making a room come together is really about, in part, figuring out what the focal points in the room happen to be. This whole ensemble I see as a focal point, the ensemble being made up of a piece of furniture, a sideboard in this case, a pair of lamps, and some pieces of ceramic and a bust. But the principal thing here that captures your eye is this big picture of the Indian. What's astonishing about this dude is that when Caitlin painted him in 1834, Black Dog was 7 feet tall. He weighed almost 300 pounds. He had one eye. His left eye had been put out when he was a child. He was a fierce warrior. You can see, even though he's holding a peace pipe, he's got scalps on his moccasins and he's got a scalp hanging on his tomahawk. So I just thought it was great. And the red color, red is a great color that sort of arrests the eye. So when people come into this room, they see it, and then it's flanked by the red drapery here. And then on the opposite side of the room, there's a fireplace and mantle, and I've got a really nice oil painting that is from the 19th century. So it's a very nice piece of art, but this was, you know, reproduced and printed, and I would be really kind of embarrassed to even tell you how much this cost. It was so little, and you could have this done with anything, and they charge typically by the square foot. They can do black and white or color. I'm really into this whole Native American thing because they're so appropriate to this place. At the top of the stair hall, you'll see 8 McKinney & Hall drawings, which were started in 1836. Now I've got something else to show you. Come on over here. Now we've shifted from America to France. Look at this drawing of the grounds of the Palace of Versailles. It includes the house or the chateau, as well as the gardens and the park surrounding the great chateau. And what's wonderful about this is an 18th century drawing that I bought years and years ago. Again, a copper plate engraving that's hand colored, and I had it blown up. But this time, hear that? It's on foam core. Really inexpensive. And then I framed it with just some standard stock molding from a home improvement store. So this is kind of the perfect thing for a landscape / house nerd person like myself, to take one of these and blow it up. I remember the first time I went to the Palace of Versailles, and this shows the chateau here. It looks really tiny, and it's labeled A on this key that shows sort of an explanation of this entire vast estate. But what's interesting is I remember walking along and looking out the windows onto this garden before I ever went into the garden, and seeing these parterres, which are really quite exquisite. So this is kind of a little keepsake, and it reminds me of my first time to visit that great place. Now, if you look over here, you can see something that's a little more modest in the way of apples. These are drawings that were done in England about 1800, maybe 1790, and they represent varieties of apples. You see, I found these prints years ago, and I just really loved them, and they're out of a book, and you can see these are labeled plate number 20, the Roman numeral XX there. And what drew me to them really were the forms of the apples, the history of this, and in this one, this is really pretty funny, the center apple, I love the name of it. It's called Bastard Seek No Further. I think that's really funny. I mean, when you think about the apples we eat today, like Granny Smith, it doesn't compare to a name like that. But the colors of this one didn't seem to work in this room quite as well. And this print I bought at the same time, and the colors, these chartreuse greens and golden colors, really work better in this room. So this is all about showing that art doesn't have to cost a lot of money. It really should be fun, it should be creative, and it should be something that's personal to you. Now, if you're enjoying these style ideas, share them with a friend, and make sure you subscribe to eHow Home.